Hello everybody, today we're going to be reading Frank Heffley's journal, Diary of a Concerned Dad. Let's get straight into it. Sunday. I've gotten suspicious of Rodrick lately. I can't trust him after he destroyed the house with that party, but I think he's doing a lot worse. I think he may be doing the devil's lettuce. He's been sleeping a lot more than usual and he seemed oddly hungry at breakfast today. I know Susan thinks it's okay for the boys to experiment or something, but I'm really worried about him. I bet his deadbeat friend Bill got him hooked. I need to get to the bottom of this, fast. Tuesday. This morning I had the whole house to myself. Normally I'd work on my battlefield, but I wanted to look through Rodrick's room for any marijuana or drugs. As usual, his room was a mess, so I knew I had my work cut out for me. I checked in Rodrick's drawers, but all I found were weird knickknacks like this keychain from the beach. I guess I lost track of time though, because Susan came down and saw me, and she was not happy. She was furious, not only because I undermined her parenting, but by how little I trusted my own son. When I started listing reasons why I shouldn't trust Rodrick, she gave up and planned a family meeting for tomorrow. That's fine by me, I guess. Even though I didn't find any drugs in his room, I did find some stuff I need to talk to him about. Wednesday. The family meeting was today, and it went a lot better than I expected. It turns out that Rodrick was eating more because he wanted to bulk up for his band. Who would have guessed? It's okay, it's so great to finally have one of my boys interested in athletics, even if it is just for his band. The best part was, he was actually okay with me coaching him. I know I haven't been spending as much time with Rodrick as I should be, so this is a great opportunity to catch up with him. Who knows, maybe I could even get him in on one of my hobbies. Saturday. Today was the first day of Rodrick's new exercise program. I spent the week working on diet plans, exercise regimes, and I even ordered a new set of weights. Then this happened. Morning, coach. So I guess when Rodrick said he wanted to coach him, he really meant coach his whole band. I mean, sure, Bill could use the exercise, but I'd rather not be the one to train him. I tried explaining this to Rodrick, but he told me I promised to coach for him. Looks like there's no getting out of it at this point. So now I have to spend an hour every day with Bill. At least Susan is happy that I'm finally taking an interest in my son's musical career. But how you could call what they play music is beyond me. Sunday. Well, Rodrick's exercise craze was short-lived. Working out is lame. I'm a little disappointed my own son couldn't handle more than a day of structured exercise. But if it gets me out of seeing Bill, that's fine by me. I need to remember to cancel those weights. Speaking of which, Greg's report card came in the mail, and it's horrible. He's failing almost all of his classes. He somehow managed to get a D in English. He writes in his journal all the time. He should be getting an A. I think Greg should stop seeing Rowley. That kid is a bad influence on him. I remember that time he took Greg's big wheel down the hill and broke his arm. His recklessness must be rubbing off on Greg. Susan and I need to have a serious talk with him. Otherwise, he might just be in middle school forever. Monday. I guess Greg caught wind of our talk today, because when I came home, he had invited my mother-in-law over for dinner. The kid's smart, I'll give him that. He just needs to apply himself for once. We didn't get a chance to talk after dinner. Greg just dashed out to play bingo. I started talking through the situation with Susan, since it looks like Greg won't graduate on time if he keeps this up. That's when I remembered, an ad I saw on television about a military academy called Spag Union. Spag Union is all about training boys to be men, which sounds exactly like what Greg needs. Susan's a little wary about it. I think she's just worried about having Greg live away from home. She wants to meet with Greg's teachers to see if he can still bring his grades up, so we're headed over tomorrow. Tuesday. After the meeting today, there's no doubt in my mind that Greg is going to Spag Union. That kid has been messing around in school for too long. We found out he sleeps in class, doesn't turn in his homework, and his last essay, it was a disaster. He'll be able to bring his grades up, but even if he does, I doubt he's going to improve his schoolwork in the future. He needs to go to Spag Union so he can learn to work harder. Susan is still worried though. She thinks it's too much to send him away, so we compromised on sending him to the summer program. Summer program will be a good way for Greg to get his head out of the clouds and focus on school. And when Susan sees how successful it is, we can send him to Spag Union year-round. Wednesday. Susan and I talked to Greg about Spag Union today. He didn't seem to take it too well. I tried to tell him that he might end up liking it, but he didn't respond. Either way, I think Susan and I did a good job of maintaining a united front on the issue. This could be a great opportunity. We just want what's best for you. Susan got even more worried after we talked to Greg. She doesn't want him to be unhappy. But you know what will make him unhappy? living on the streets when he flunks out of school. Maybe I shouldn't be so hard on him, but I know if I were in my shoes, my dad would have done the same thing. One day I hope he understands that I just want the best for him. Life is full of things we don't want to do. For example, I have to perform at the Snellis party in a few weeks. Saturday. Today is the party at the Snellis house. I tried my best to get out of it, but now I have to perform for some snot-nosed kid. At least I wasn't the only one who didn't want to go. Greg seemed pretty bummed out too. I don't know why. Maybe it's about us heading to Spag Union tomorrow. I guess he's still not looking forward to it. I have half a mind to let him out of going, but I just have to remember it's for the best. I don't really feel like talking to anybody at the party, so I'm just sitting near the snack table and writing in this journal. You're up next, Frank. I could really use a miracle right about now. I tried asking Greg if he could bail me out, but he wasn't willing to. I even told him I would owe him, but I guess he's mad about Spag Union. Kind of ironic, I guess. I had no choice, so I ended up making a fool out of myself in front of all the neighbors. I did notice Greg slip out before I got to perform. I wish I had thought of that. He's definitely going to Spag Union. That'll teach him to respect his elders. Now I could step foot outside. I hate the Snellas. Sunday. Greg's out of the house now. It sure is quiet here. It was a big day, bringing him to Spag Union. I got him up at 6 a.m. so we could head out. As we drove, I started talking about all the stuff they had at Spag Union and how it might not be so bad, but Greg was silent as usual. Once we got here, some of the staff helped us unload Greg's stuff and move him into his room. Then we got through orientation. I got the chance to talk to some of the drill sergeants, and I told them what I was worried about, and they tried to make me feel better. You made the right choice, Frank. We'll take good care of your young man. Once orientation was over, I said my goodbye to Greg and headed out. The whole family will be over for the family day next week, so we'll see him then. I just hope he holds up okay. The more I think about it, the more worried I get about him. Maybe I was too quick to send him out to military school. It's for the best, I've got to remember that. The car ride home was the hardest part. I had to think of that awful Peachy Breeze ice cream commercial, so I would be too mad to turn around and take Greg back home. Thursday. Things have been quite a bit different since Greg left. For starters, Susan's been a lot quieter, so have Rodrick and Manny. In fact, I haven't seen much of Rodrick these days. He's been holed up in the basement most of the time. The most eventful thing that happened this week was when Riley came over looking for Greg. I guess Greg never told him about Spag Union. Hopefully things liven up soon, because this is shaping up to be a boring summer. Maybe I should sign up for a Civil War reenactment. Saturday. After the family day today, I'm feeling a lot better about sending Greg to Spag Union. He seems like he's having a ball. We talked a lot about what he did this week, and we talked about how much he enjoyed all the drills and exercise. That seemed unlike him, but maybe that's just the new Greg. Spag Union must have really shaped him up. Susan was really happy to see that Greg was doing so well too. She actually told me I was right about sending him to Spag Union. Maybe I'll even enroll Rodrick too. Since Greg is doing so well at Spag Union, I told him we would keep him there the whole summer. To think I almost withdrew him from Spag Union. I need to trust my gut more often. I can't wait to check in on Greg again. I'm so proud of him for doing so well and taking a chance. Sunday. Today was horrible. The police came to our house this morning and told us Greg is missing. They said the drill instructors couldn't find him anywhere and that they don't know what happened to him. Susan has been a wreck since we found out. I have been too. Rodrick seemed really concerned and went out looking for him as soon as we found out. He hasn't come home yet, but we've been in touch. He'll be coming home by 12 at the latest. I'm going to stay up and wait for Rodrick. In the meantime, I started working on some missing posters we could hang around town. I hope Greg's okay, and I wish I knew where he was. Monday. Rodrick came back around 12, like he said. Susan and I stayed up hoping he had found Greg, but he hadn't. After we had all just went to bed, in the morning, Rodrick and I put the flyers up while Susan called her relatives and Greg's friends to see if they knew anything about his whereabouts. After all the hustle and bustle, we met back up to eat lunch together and discuss our options. I'll be honest, we were at a loss for what to do, but Manny came up with a great idea. Bubby's die-a-wee. It's kind of sad that it takes Greg to go missing for all of us to work together. After lunch, we headed over to Spag Union to check through Greg's room for his journal. Susan gave him a new yellow one to write in when we saw him at Family Day, but we couldn't find it. I guess that means he ran away. I wonder why. After a while of searching, we found his old green one in his footlocker. Looking at the cover gave me chills. Under the word diary, he wrote the last straw in what looks like whiteout. We decided to read through Greg's journal at home. I guess we're all kind of nervous about what it's going to say and what's in it. The car ride back was pretty quiet. I just kept wondering what Greg meant by the last straw. I guess it must be related to his disappearance. Is it Spag Union? He seemed like he really liked it there. I'm writing this after dinner. We're going to sit down together and read the journal after Manny goes to bed. Susan doesn't want him to see it, in case it gets scary. I can't blame her. With the last straw written on the cover, it's like something straight out of a horror movie. Susan's back now, so here goes page 1. Greg's diary. Sunday. I can't believe Dad actually went through with sending me to Spag Union. I could tell I'm already going to hate it here. After Dad left, they shaved my head and gave me a uniform. I guess this is my life now. Monday. Sorry I can't write much. I don't have a lot of downtime here, and I only have a few pages left, so I need to make them last if I'm going to be here all summer. It's not like anything really interesting happened today, though. Just a bunch of exercise. I'm pretty exhausted, so I'm going to bed. They wake us up at 6 every morning, so I need to get some shut-eye quick. Tuesday. Today was the first day of classes. It really stinks that I have to do more school after I just got out. The worst part is, they still gave me homework. I'm tired though. Good night. Wednesday. I need to get out of here quick. The bullies are 10 times worse than the ones at school. Not only that, but the drill instructors don't even care. Man up, private. Thursday. What the drill instructor said really got me thinking. The whole point of Dad sending me here was so I'd man up, right? So maybe if I act like I shaped up, they'd let me leave. So I need to get my act together. The family day is in 2 days. That's my only chance to escape Spag. I can't blow it. Friday. Tomorrow can't come soon enough. I'm so ready to leave. I haven't showered since I got here. They're as bad as I thought they'd be. Saturday. Well, my plan to escape Spag Union backfired. Dad was impressed by how well I was doing, but I guess that wasn't good enough for him. He wants me to stay here the whole summer. I don't know anymore. I guess I just can't please my dad no matter what I do. It's not even that. It's that Dad just doesn't understand me. He doesn't get that I'm not like him. I don't care about sports or athletics. I have better talents. Mom at least tries to get me, but Dad never does. He just wants to change me. That's why I'm going to run away. From Spag Union, from all of it. When I become rich and famous, I'll come back and show Dad he was always wrong about me. I'm going to leave this journal behind so the rest of the family knows what happened to me. I'll be okay. It's just time I took my life in my own hands instead of letting Dad steer it for me. Don't worry about me, Mom. I'll let you live in my mansion. Rodrick, you can visit sometimes, but Dad, please don't mess up with Manny like you messed up with me. All this time I thought I was a screw-up, but I was wrong. It was you. Goodbye, family. I'll be back after I become a Twisted Wizard champion, or maybe a comic writer. Greg. Tuesday. I ended up sleeping on the couch last night after Susan ran upstairs crying. I can't believe that Greg feels that way about me. I know I'm not the nicest father, but I guess I really was too hard on him. I should have tried to talk to him about all this. Maybe things should have ended up differently. Susan hasn't said a word to me all day. It's pretty clear she blames me for all this. She left with Manny to go look for Greg. I better do the same. I hate to say it, but I think our marriage may be on the line. I was thinking about where Greg might be based off what he said in his journal, but I don't even think Greg knows where he's going to go. I wish he didn't run away like this. Doesn't he know there's no possible way he could survive on his own? Just please come home, Greg. Come home and I promise I'll treat you better. Thursday. I've been up and down every street. I don't know how much longer I could keep this up. Greg is gone. He doesn't want us to find him. What am I supposed to do? Is his life so bad that he has to run away? What a wimp. I was right to be hard on him. Is this how he acts when one thing goes wrong? Pathetic. I'm a terrible father. My son goes missing and I blame him? No wonder he ran away. I remember how I wanted to run away from my dad too. I suppose Greg and I aren't so different. Never cared much for sports either. My dad was always comparing me to my brother. I was never the son he wanted growing up. I didn't want Greg to suffer like I did. I wanted to be better than I was. But it looks like all I did was become my dad. I hope I'm not too late to set things right with Greg. I love him a lot and I never got the chance to tell him. I'm going to take one more look through the park before I head home. I found him. I finally found Greg. Words can't describe. I'm so happy. When I saw him all alone in the park, I broke down crying. My son, he was just shivering there in the cold night air. He looked horrible, like he hadn't slept in days. I carried him into the car and we drove straight home. I wanted to explain how I felt to Greg, but he slept through the whole ride home. I can't blame him. After about a week on the run, I can't imagine what he went through. Susan was so happy to see Greg. She wanted to talk to him too, but we both agreed it would be best if he rested. Still, I want to try and make it up to Greg as soon as I can. I want to show him things will be different around here now. Friday. Greg was still asleep when I woke up. I ran out to the store and picked him a bathrobe like the one I threw out earlier this year. When he did wake up, I think he appreciated it. It's really good to see Greg back home. As soon as we got settled into breakfast, Susan hit him with a ton of questions, like where he went and what he was thinking. Pretty soon the whole thing devolved into crying from both Susan and Greg. I was anxious to talk to Greg one-on-one about how I felt. I didn't want him to see me cry. I got my chance when Greg finally addressed the Spag Union situation. I'm sorry I ran away, but Dad, do I have to go back to Spag Union? Greg, son, I've always wanted what I thought is best for you. The problem is, I never thought about how you felt. After these past few days, I realized that more than anything, I want you to be happy. You're a good kid, and you have a lot of talent. So instead of going to Spag Union, why don't we work to make you better your way? I love you, son. I hugged Greg for the first time in a long while. It really is good to have him back home. We spent the rest of the day lounging around and taking it easy. It's been a long time since I've just laid around. I'm usually off doing something or stressing about work. Greg might be onto something here. Later, Greg went over to Rowley's house, as they have some catching up to do too. I hope Greg has started thinking about what he wants to do for the rest of the summer, but I guess he has time to think about it. The budget is going to be tight this year since we spent a lot of money on Spag Union. July. I think it's safe to say this summer has been one of the best yet. Greg and I have really bonded, and I've learned a lot more about him. I never realized he was such a great artist, almost as good as his dad. He's really passionate about his drawing too. I'm trying to help him get his cartoons published to the paper. My favorite part of the summer was probably the camping trip we took. Greg told me about how he wanted to go camping, even after the 2 bad trips we took. I'm glad I took him up on the offer though. He really learned a lot from Boy Scouts. More recently, Greg is going on to regionals in a Twisted Wizard competition. Can't say I'm too proud of that part, but if Greg's happy, I'm happy. That's my son. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed. I thought it was pretty cool. I really like crazy Wimpy Kid fan fictions, but more like grounded stories like this is cool too. And hey, if you guys want me to read a story like this, except from Rodrick's perspective, let me know, because I think there actually is one like that. So I'll probably do that in a couple weeks. We'll see. Anyway, let me know what you guys want me to read in the comment section down below. Also, I don't know ignore this. Look at this, guys. You guys might not get this reference, but the guy who made this also made this, and I thought it was pretty cool. But yeah, just comment down below if you ever played Wizard 101, because if you know, you know. This is so, I saw this on his pin, bro, I literally have, okay, well, I thought I had it opened already because I was gonna play after this, bro. This is I don't know, Wizard 101, I've been playing that game crazy. When I saw this, I was like, oh my goodness, no way, this is a collab I've been waiting for. Anyway, kind of rambling. Hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to like, subscribe, tell me what to read, please, and yeah, I'm out of here. Peace.